Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at parameter automation. So unlike in previous videos where we looked at volume and pan automation, this will allow us to automate any type of parameters, and specifically synthesizer parameters, which we're going to be taking a look at in this video. So if you could see, I already have the synthesizer pulled up, and this is actually pretty easy. So we're going to, with our shortcut Command A, open up the automation view window, and normally you would get volume and pan here if this was an audio track, but since this is an instrument track, it gives us this option to add or remove. So this is what we're going to click, and it will pop up this window, and inside, if you can see, this gives us a list of all of the parameters that can be automated on this track. So we have an LFO 1 and 2. We have our amplitude envelope, the main one, amplitude envelope 2 and 3, main 2, 3. We have all of our, essentially all of our knobs, all of the controls for the synthesizer are here in this list. So let's go ahead and just select one. I'll select filter. And so when you select filter, it gives you a drop-down menu. Not all of them will have drop-down menus with other options. But if I select filter, this opens up all of the parameters inside of the filter section on the synthesizer. So the type of filter, the soft clip, drive, and cutoff. For this video, I'll automate the cutoff. So I'll have it selected here, and then I will click add. And all of the parameters that you select and add will now appear in this drop-down menu on the track. Let's go ahead and do a couple more. So how about the LFO frequency? So this should be the rate. You can select that. Maybe the oscillator, say oscillator 1. We could select the octave range, let's say. We can add that. So now we can close that window. If we go here, you can see cutoff, frequency, octave range. We can now select these parameters from the drop-down menu because we have added them. And now it works essentially this exact same way as volume and pan automation. You were given an envelope, a straight line, and you can add nodes. And if you also see, there's a green dot on it, which means that it's enabled. Automation is enabled for this parameter. And as you click and drag nodes, you can see that the knob, whatever it is that you're automating, also changes. So we can just set this here. Do a couple of these. Let's add a couple more. Let's go to frequency, the LFO. So this will adjust the rate. And then the octave range. And now this one, if you notice, you can't, because this knob has specific values that you can set to, and you can't adjust this knob in between these values. So for instance, you can't set, you can only set this knob on a particular octave for a specific pitch. You can't set it in between there. You would use these two knobs instead. So that we're getting discrete values from our envelope here. So instead of straight lines, so at this point, it will jump up to this octave, and at this point it will jump down, and it won't transition, it won't ramp. So something like this. We have all of this set. One thing that's interesting about working this way, and you might have noticed this, is I don't actually have any information on this track. There's no audio, there's no MIDI on the track. We don't have anything on the track, but nonetheless, we can still set our automation envelopes here just by clicking. And now, if If I return to 0 when I just play this without any MIDI, anything on the track, anything being recorded, you will actually see these values change on the synthesizer. And one thing that this can be nice for, perhaps, is now I can play on top of this. And the resulting sound will be whatever the values are at, given their specific location along this envelope. So we can record. Stop. And if we close this automation window, you can see that we have some MIDI recorded. You can also see the individual notes here. But our automation is applied to this track. And so to recap, you would add your synthesizer to the track, click the drop-down arrow, and add or remove particular parameters that then can be viewed on this drop-down menu and selected and adjusted accordingly. So I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that it gives you a wealth of new musical opportunities to explore. Thank you.